Hey guys, this is Red and Blue, the channel on YouTube for all things PSG in English. Please subscribe. Today, let's talk about the Auxerre game, which concluded a few hours ago. We won 2-0, as you can see. Pretty clean win. Nothing, a few things to note. Honestly, not the best or the most fascinating PSG game ever, which I guess we're kind of expecting. Auxerre came to play defensively, came to play with two lines of 5 and 4 at the back, a physical defensive football. And for us, we're not at full strength. We've got injured player. We've got a big game coming up against Barcelona as well. So yeah, we got the win, which is really what we wanted. We got to score 2 goals, which are fairly interesting and worth talking about a little bit. And we got to see some new players. And I think I'll just start with that because for me, that's really the big satisfaction of this game. Titis ascending. Honestly, I'm so happy, a little bit amazed that in a Ligue 1 game we get Zaire Emery and Mayulu and Mbaye who are starting in the starting 11, so 3 titis, and then we get Ndjantou and Mathis Jangeal coming on as well. I think it's 5 titis on the pitch. It's really nice to see, honestly. I think we've always had a strong academy. PSG has always capable of turning out great football player and great pros. Usually we've had years and years where they would have to go to other teams to get some playing time. And so it's so nice to see Luis Enrique actually giving them playing time, giving them a role within his team, giving them the chance to shine, and giving them a lot of confidence. So you see someone like Mbaye, who honestly he's had difficult games, obviously, but he keeps being looked in, he keeps being integrated. And when I see his game today, I see the beginning of that confidence paying off because he does look more confident, he does look more in his place, he does look like he knows a bit more about what he's doing and how he can contribute to the team. And I think he had a good game. Mayulu, I don't think he was his best ever, but he's clearly he's got quality and he brings something. And at this point, there's no drama when you see his name in the starting 11. It's not for a game against Auxerre, he's clearly at above that level anyway. So perfectly fine with this. He gets an assist on the second goal, which is awesome. And yeah, he plays a large part of the game, and clearly contributes. In a role slightly lower, actually, in midfield, when the past few games he was playing more as a false 9. So it's interesting to see that flexibility from him as well. Zaire Emery, honestly, it's tough because I like him and I think people are being very harsh with him. Obviously, he had a really rough patch last season, but I think this season is coming back to a really good level. I think yesterday it's hard because I read a lot and I listened to a few videos before coming on, and a lot of people are saying oh, he's got a good game, he's strong physically, but he doesn't contribute offensively. And honestly, he's playing supposedly at right back, but really more as a defensive midfielder. And then when Vitinha comes off, he slips into the number 6 position. And I'm sorry, but even a player like Vitinha, who's great caliber, obviously creates a lot with his feet and so on, but he doesn't really make that many run into the area either. So it's a bit of just because we know that we're in Zaire and we can do it, doesn't mean in these games that's what's being asked of him. And I think in this game, what's being asked of him versus a team who's got a lot of physicality and a lot of density in midfield is to be able to answer in kind. And I think he does that, and he does that a whole lot better than the game against Marseille, where against Heuberg, he clearly got dominated. I think in this game, he's bringing on his physicality and dominating that, and getting balls back and driving the midfield. yes, he's not like, Vitinha, who can break apart a team just with a pass. He's not playing like in the spot of Joao Neves, where he would be asked to make runs into the area and run everywhere and so on. And so I think for this game, like, I'm pretty happy with his production. And we forget, but he's still a super young player. And it's one of the things that for me, like, we can take from Dembele's Ballon d'Or win, is that players' career aren't linear. And ultimately, like, you can't be expecting of a kid who comes onto the team. Like, he came onto the squad at like 17 years old, and he had an amazing first season within the team, where we thought he was one of those very, very, very few and unusual players who can just make the jump to first squad within a big club, and carve a spot for themselves in the team like straight away. And honestly, like, 95% of youngsters, they're not Lionel Messi, they're not Cristiano Ronaldo. They take a bit of time, they need to develop, they go through ups and downs. Sometimes they regress a little bit before getting back. They go through injuries, which is what happened to Zaire Emery. And honestly, at this point, like, yeah, he's 19-year-old. He's like the first substitute for the best team in the world and the Champions League winners. And I think he's in this spot, and it's fine. It's completely fine. And who knows, like, in 2 years, maybe he'll be able to, not even in 2 years, because like we've seen that he has the potential for it. So like he'll be able at one point or the other to get back to his top level and challenge for a spot in the starting 11. And we shouldn't, overdo it. We should give him time and space, and we should appreciate what he does, and not necessarily like expect him to like be at the high levels that he was at for the first few months continuously for the rest of his career, because that's just not the way it works. So yeah, like ultimately, like, I think he had an okay game. It wasn't the best game ever. I don't want to sound over the top or anything, but I definitely think it was a lot better than Marseille. And like, same thing that I said for Mayulu, when I see wearing Zaire Emery's name within the starting 11 for the game against Auxerre, honestly, I'm perfectly fine with it. I think it's great. And then like the two new titis who integrated the team, and Quentin and Ndjantou. I need to learn the names, Quentin and Ndjantou had a really, really interesting 30 minutes on the pitch. He came on and like really didn't get scared by the spotlight. He contributed defensively. He was actually playing in midfield, which is a bit lower than what he typically plays with the U19. But he was really interesting in linking up play between midfield and attack. He tried to combine with Barcola a lot. He contributed defensively. He tried to project offensively as well. He takes a couple of shots, and one which could like very well have been a goal. And I really like that. Yeah, like he really tries to do things. He's not afraid to try things, and at the same time, he's also like he's really thinking about how he fits within this team. So you can see he's trying to cover for Barcola. When Barcola cuts infield, he tries to take the other side and create space on the side. He makes a run and try to create space. So like he shows like self-awareness and intelligence, which is very, very impressive for a player his age who's making his first game in the first squad. So definitely will be worth seeing again. And honestly, like, it's such a comfort to see player coming out of our U19 who can, like, I'm sorry, but like from what we've seen yesterday, he's got the level to start featuring and start getting pieces of game. Not staying like be a starter just yet, but yeah, if he can do like those 20-30 minutes just like he did, happy days. Honestly, like perfectly happy with that. And then the other one, Mathis Jangeal. He came on for the last 10 minutes. We didn't really see much of him. I think like the same thing applies to him, which I think he was very well prepped in terms of like trying to cover his space, trying to compensate for other players. Same thing I saw one time, like Hakimi cutting in field, and straight away like you can see like on the camera, like he sees Hakimi like moving in front of him, and so okay, and like takes 2 steps back to go towards the sideline and covers that space. apart from this, like, I think he lost a couple of balls, so he wasn't as impressive in terms of technique. I think he had a bit of a shocker. Like the first ball he touches, like there's a big Auxerre player who goes to him like shoulder to shoulder and really like shows him the physical difference between United and Ligue 1. So he might need a little bit more playing time to really show us what he can do. But yeah, I saw like intelligent in his positioning. He looks like okay with the ball. So yeah, it might be worth seeing a game at some point as well. And sorry, Mbaye, I forgot, I didn't mention him. Mbaye was playing. He played the whole game on the right. Yeah, like I said, like I think he's getting better. I think the confidence is paying off. I think it must feel good for him to see younger players than him or less experienced than him starting to push into the squad. He must feel like, a little bit more established, a little bit more like, part of the squad, part of the team. And yeah, I think it showed in his game. He didn't have like, there's a couple of like good passes sequences and good opportunities that he creates. It's not the match of a lifetime or anything, but it's ascending versus what he produced before. So yeah. Next point I had, yeah, like sadly, like couple more injuries question. I really like, honestly, like I really don't know what to make of it, having like rewatched the thing. So like let's talk. So Vitinha and Kvara like both came off in the first half for Vitinha after 30 minutes and at halftime for Kvara. And the chatter is that both of them picked up like some injuries. Kvara worse than Vitinha. And so Vitinha, it's honestly very strange because he comes up at the 30th minute. He's like walking about fine. He sits on the bench. He doesn't like, he's not going straight to the dock or straight to the locker room or anything like this. And so it's really hard to know what goes on and why he's coming off. My hypothesis, having watched the game, is that it feels like he's dropping off physically for the last like 5 to 10 minutes. He goes on the pitch. He's not running as much, not running as fast, not as mobile. So I wonder if like, the coach saw that and went like, ooh, like he could be on the edge of like pushing himself over the top and getting injured. So let's take him off the pitch straight away and not wait for that to happen. Yeah, it really, like, to me, it felt like this, and it didn't really feel like he had taken on a knock. There's no major contact. There's no, sometimes you see players, they touch their calves, they touch their side because they're starting to feel some things. There's nothing like this here. So yeah, it did feel like a precaution. And Kvara, same thing. Honestly, like I need to go back again, but like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. Apparently, like, yeah, he's worse and he really picked up something to his muscles on the leg. So he could be out for a few weeks. But yeah, honestly, like, I missed it. I didn't see the action. I didn't see it. It's kind of annoying because he was playing relatively well and contributing a lot in his usual style. I think he was a little bit alone in the sense of trying to do everything on his own, which for a player like Vara and for a player like Doué, typically that's always their undoing when they try to do everything on their own. So we'll have to see. Same thing, like he's coming off at halftime as well, so it's not like, he's not like falling on the ground and cannot take a step anymore. He walks off the pitch at halftime. So yeah, I really wonder. I do, like, honestly, like there's a part of me that really does wonder if we're not playing some mind games ahead of the Barcelona game, and like, like playing into the whole like, there's so many injuries in PSG at the moment and so on, and then like, all of a sudden, like we turn up in Barcelona with like Vara, Barcola, Vitinha, Ruiz on the pitch, and kind of team not at full strength because Dembele is definitely not there and Doué is definitely not there, but yeah, like kind of better than what we're talking about now. We'll see. And then last point I wanted to mention as well, which is always interesting, we scored 2 goals on corners. And I think, we've been going on and on and on about like how PSG is really not the strongest at set pieces, whether offensively or defensively. And it actually came out in Luis Enrique's post-game interviews. He goes like, we've worked a lot on this. And so, yeah, it's great to see progress. It's clearly like stuff that's been worked on at training as well, like playing the corner kick short, and then like players making a pass into the area for like players who've stayed there. The first goal from Zabarni is like pretty awesome finishing from him, but also like really dreadful goalkeeping from Donovan Leon, who's like literally getting the ball passes like 10 centimeters over his head, and he's like flailing. And I honestly like I don't know how it's a goal. The angle is pretty tight as well. So yeah, like really awesome finishing with the left foot from Zabarni. Really beautiful pass from Vitinha as well, just before he goes off. Beautiful pass. And then the second one, the pass is from Mayulu, and like once again, like honestly, like great that was scoring, but like the defending from Auxerre is appalling. Like we've got 4 players together in the area, and there's basically like the 4 of them are like in like a truck-size gap in the defending, and there's like literally, even if you pull all of the Auxerre players who are like more or less in the area, there's only 3 of them for like 4 Parisian players. So I don't understand how like this can happen in the first place. How can we like on a set piece as well? There should be like at least parity in terms of number of players, and then like not a gap this wide for player to go into. Because honestly, like if Beraldo doesn't take it, like Ramos is right behind, and I think like Barcola is right behind him, and like literally that's what you've got before you get to a third defender. So yeah, we'll see. But good to see us, making progress and getting some goals this way, especially in a tight game defensively. And then, like, lastly, a couple of individual performances to talk about. Our central defenders did really well. Both Zabarni and Beraldo, they both scored, but they also, like, both had really solid games defensively. Zabarni, it's so nice to see him, like, really progressing and getting more and more comfortable and confident. He's going to be playing a lot because Marquinhos is injured for the next few weeks. So it's great to see him, like, get that playing time and make the most of it. And a player like Beraldo has been very criticized. For me, like I kind of like Beraldo for some reason. I'm very, very alone in this. I think like he's been like pretty dreadful when he plays on the left, but as a center back, like he's always been better in this position. He's prone to making mistakes once in a while, but he's also like still a very young player in a position where experience matters a lot. So yeah, and like technically he's got passing quality and quality with his feet, which is really good. But now he's on this game. He showed some physicality, he showed some intelligence in challenging Auxerre strikers in the right way, in cutting off lines of passing, and so on and so forth. So really interesting game for him. And then beyond that, like the other players I wanted to mention, but not in a good way, Gonzalo Ramos. I'm really like I'm reaching. I mean, I feel like I say this every time, but I'm reaching the end of the line with him. I think he's completely losing confidence. He's trying, you can see, but like he's trying really against his playing style. He's trying to drop back and participate into the game, but just like his technique is completely flawed right now, especially with no confidence. The best you see of him is like when he tries to act as a more traditional number 9. I like that he gets the attention of a couple of defenders all the time, and so he creates spaces for other players around him. But at the same time, it's not enough. And like he's only had 2 goals so far this season. Like given the playing time that he's had, like he should have a lot more than this. I get that it's difficult because he doesn't have like the usual starters around him, and so he'd probably get a lot more and better opportunities if he was playing with Doué, if he was playing with like more consistently Kvara or Barcola, if he had like Ruiz and Joao Neves behind him. But at the same time, a player of his caliber, he should like against a team like Auxerre, honestly, like it's not normal that he's not able to like create more and get more chances. So yeah, we'll have to make do with him. Hopefully, like it's funny because his 2 goals, like one is against Tottenham and one is against Atalanta. So maybe he's just a player who's like better carved for European football and coming on as a sub, as we always say. So maybe we'll see, maybe we'll see him come on the pitch in Barcelona at the 60th minute and score a hat trick out of nowhere. One can dream. It doesn't really feel this way, but you never know. But yeah, his game against Auxerre was again not a good one. So anyway, this is what I had for you guys on this Auxerre game. Not the best game ever, like I said, but like a few interesting things. We get the win, we're back on the table, on top of the table. We can go to Barcelona and see what happens there in the Champions League. And then like we'll only have one more game to play after against Lille before an international break, which hopefully should see us get some players back from injury and work on our fitness. Hopefully not too many players will be called up with their international teams. But yeah, plenty of time for that anyway. So I think for now, like, please like this video if you've made it this far. Let me know in the comment what you thought of this game and what you thought of our titis. Are you excited by them? And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified. And as always, ici c'est Paris!